The Jamie Dyer Show.
Delighted to be joined on the telephone to talk about something rather local to West Sussex, Chichester, Tangmere, of course, on the Jamie Dyer Show podcast. I've got Matt here from the Save Tangmere Tower Campaign, who's going to tell us a little bit about it. Now, for those who haven't heard, and I don't know why they wouldn't have heard because it's everywhere, for those who haven't heard, can you tell us a little bit of background around the tower?
So the Tangmere Tower, the current tower that stands in the village, which is on the airfield, on the apron, that was built in 1944. So it's the second tower. Originally, the first tower was bombed out on a raid on Tangmere by the Luftwaffe on the 16th of August 1940. Then the operations room actually moved to the University of Chichester, which was then a college at the time. And then this current tower, as I say, was built in 1944 in time for D-Day. It's been closed. Well, the RAF base closed in 1970, and it's been derelict ever since. I'd say it played quite a key role in the Operation Overlord in D-Day, but also it was the same tower that was part of the Neville Duke land speed record attempt in 1946 and 1953, and also played host to Prince Charles when he learnt to fly in RAF Tangmere in 1968.
So there's a lot of history surrounding this thing.
There's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of history about the tower, and it did get Grade 2 listed status in 2011, and I managed to get it on the Heritage at Risk register in 2015. That's the current listing status. Why it needs to be restored is because it is probably the last landmark, if you like, of RAF Tangmere, which was arguably the most important Battle of Britain airfield. I think to a lot of people, like myself, it represents a time when people gave the ultimate sacrifice for this country, fighting for freedom across the world. And, you know, to some people, it was the beacon that guided them home. And I think when you look at the control tower with those eyes, as opposed to just a building, it's got an incredible story to tell locally, nationally. And I think for the people of Tangmere that have seen its current state for the last 48 years, we have an opportunity now, perhaps an opportunity of a generation, to do something that will make it not just a restored control tower, but a part of the village again, and in some sense to relight that beacon of hope across this county and across this country.
Well, as you say, it's not just about Tangmere as a place, it's also about the wider area as well. I mean, obviously, restoring that and making that, as you say, a beacon would kind of open it up for other uses, you know, for going and viewing for history purposes and things like that.
Absolutely, and that, you know, what we want to do is you want to get to the same point, similar sort of concepts in Greenham Common, where they have restored their control tower. And what we'd like to do is to turn this into something that, you know, could be part of the museum, it could be a cafe, it could be a place where people meet, it could be a place where people learn, it could be have many different facilities and resources for the village. I just think that we've got to a point now where we have an incredible amount of positivity around this campaign. We've been working closely with partners at the Aviation Museum, the University of Chichester, and a local history group in the village. Like you say, this isn't just a building. This is a beacon, and it's about time that we came together at this point to do something that will last for another generation, so that the story of RAF Tangmere, the story of World War II, the story of SOE operations, the story of Battle of Britain and everything else will be told, not just for my generation, but also my son's generation, and for everyone to learn about what actually happened only about 4 miles away from the city of Chichester, arguably our finest hour.
And obviously seeing something like that makes it a little bit more real as well, because a lot of these things can be generated by CGI and all that sort of thing, but to actually see it in the flesh, to see it there, kind of makes it a little bit more real as well.
You know, I walk past the control tower, I live in a village. I'm sure many people over the years have walked past that control tower and thought to themselves, you know, something should be done about that. And that's exactly what we're doing. And like you say, you can walk up to that tower now and you can still see the scars of war. And I think that when you walk around Tangmere, when you go to the museum, you get a sense of what actually happened there. It's the same sun that sets in Tangmere than it was in the 1940s. So for me, personally, I mean, I'm interested in history, as you're probably aware of anyway. I just think that the story of that control tower, the story of the village, should be told as much as possible.
Yes. So in the sort of period of restoration that you're currently embarking on at the moment, how are you raising funds for that?
What we're doing at the moment is we're working on what we're calling phase one. What we're aiming to do is to raise £10,000. So that £10,000 will give us the ability to secure the site. So we're talking about a perimeter fence around the site. We'll be looking to remove the breeze block entrance and install a new steel door system. And we'll also be looking to get a building conditions survey done by a conservation architect, which will give us the information and the understanding and the floor plans of what is the current state of that building. Once we know that information, then we'll be more adept to the next phase, if you like. But the first phase is all around exploring what is the current state of the building. And we know we've also set up an asset-backed community interest company. We have a bank account. We're all doing all the legal stuff. And as I say, the first phase should be about telling us what is the current state. That will give us the keys to unlocking the next phase.
And how long does that phase last for? You know, how long will it take to do that? I would imagine you need to get surveyors in and look at stuff, you know, structural and stuff like that. How long does all of that last?
As I say, we're crowdfunding at the moment on our Just Giving. We've got a Just Giving page. We're up to about £1,100 on that at the moment. I'd urge your listeners, if they're interested in this campaign, please donate to the campaign. In terms of the phase one work, I think once we've raised that capital, we would look to start making those inroads quite quickly because, like I say, the most important thing for us to do now is to understand what is the state of that building. And then once you've got that information, we can move forwards. At the moment, it's just a case of fundraising, which can take time. I'm doing my very best to speak to people like yourself and get the word out there to people of Chichester or Sussex or the country to get behind this campaign and give what they can and help us go forward.
Yes. How long has the campaign been running for?
The campaign's been running sort of in its sort of current form since October last year, but I actually joined the parish council in Tangmere about 3.5 years ago because I was so concerned with the tower itself, and I thought, you know, we need to try and do something about this. So really, I've been working on this campaign for a little while, and listing it on the Heritage at Risk register through Chichester District Council was a massive step forward in what we were trying to achieve. And since that time, from October to now, we've been meeting with several people. We've had an excellent meeting with Gillian Keegan, our local MP, who's been very supportive. We've had positive statements from Paul Reed, who is a renowned historian. And also we did a social media day, if you like, with Dan Snow, who's the history guy, which has been a really good experience. We've been really taking it out there to people and getting people interested and involved in the campaign. We've had loads of stuff sent to us, Jamie. We've had pictures of people in the tower and doing the national service. We've had logbooks sent to us. We've had all sorts of family and friend accounts of the control tower, which has been absolutely incredible to read and to understand. So I'd love to read all of those things because they add to the historical context of the building.
And also it strengthens the kind of pull that you have on the campaign. You know, if you can see the amount of people that have actually gone through it, it must be kind of gratifying to know that actually this thing you're pushing towards means so much to so many people.
It's actually really humbling and overwhelming when you read family accounts. Either people have flown out of Tangmere and, you know, been assisted by the control tower. People have worked in the control tower. It's a great feeling to know that what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve, will mean so much to so many people of all different ages and different backgrounds and all different walks of life. Everyone has a story to tell, I think, when it comes to things like this. And I would just love all that information, all those stories, all those memories to be told to the next generation of people, the next generation when they're walking around Tangmere or when they're living in the village, they can see that control tower and they'll really identify with something which defined our whole historical context as a country, and be really proud of Tangmere as a place to live.
If anyone wanted to find out more information about the Save Tangmere Tower campaign, where would they need to go?
Okay, we've got a Twitter account and a Facebook account, so I'd urge people to follow us on Twitter or join the Facebook page. We've got a Just Giving page, so if anyone would like to donate towards the campaign, and if anyone wanted to send some sort of family history or friend history about the control tower, then please do email us at savetangmeretower@outlook.com.
Well, thank you very much, Matt, for coming on today and talking about that. It's been great to hear about it, because I've personally not seen that tower. I haven't been to that area in some time, so I shall probably myself go and check it out. So thank you very much, Matt, for coming on, and all the best for the campaign.
Thank you very much, Jamie. Appreciate it.
The Jamie Dyer Show.